The sun scorched the endless desert as a weak boy stumbled alone, his German shepherd the only soul beside him. Left to die by his own stepfather, he clung to hope. But what they did next, against all odds, shocked everyone and changed their lives forever. A frail boy, no older than 10, stumbled forward, his face pale and flushed from fever. His lips were cracked, and every breath felt like inhaling fire. Beside him padded a loyal German shepherd, its black and tan coat dusty from the journey. The dog glanced up at the boy, sensing his weakness, and stayed close, its body almost shielding him from the sun's glare. In the vast emptiness, the boy's small figure seemed swallowed by the desert, a fragile life against a world of endless sand. Each step was a battle. His shoes, worn and filled with grit, burned his feet. Sweat trickled down his temples, mixing with the dry dirt on his cheeks. The only sound was the crunch of sand and the low panting of the dog. The boy's eyes glimmered with fear and confusion. He couldn't understand why this was happening, why someone who was supposed to protect him had done this. As he stumbled to his knees, the German shepherd nudged him gently, refusing to leave his side. The desert was merciless, but the dog's loyalty was unshaken. Just a few hours ago, he had been in the back seat of a dusty old pickup truck, his small hands gripping his German shepherd's fur. He had trusted his stepfather, believing they were going for a drive to clear their heads. The truck had stopped in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by nothing but endless dunes. The stepfather's voice had been sharp and impatient. "Get out," he ordered. The boy hesitated, his eyes searching for an explanation, but none came. Rough hands grabbed him, shoving him into the sand. His dog barked furiously, circling protectively, but a harsh glare from the man silenced it. The truck door slammed. Sand kicked up under spinning tires as the vehicle roared away, leaving a trail of dust and betrayal in its wake. The boy ran a few steps, his cries tearing through the desert air, but the truck shrank into a speck, and then it was gone. His chest ached, not just from the heat, but from the crushing realization he had been abandoned. Alone, except for the German shepherd, whose steady presence was now his only lifeline in the barren wasteland. Heat shimmered off the sand, and every step felt heavier than the last. The boy's lips were already dry, and his throat ached for water, but there was none. His German shepherd, panting hard, stayed glued to his side, every so often nudging him forward as if to say, "Keep going." With no road and no shade, the boy relied on his dog's instincts. The German shepherd trotted ahead, nose low to the ground, scanning the terrain for any sign of shelter. Eventually, the dog led him to a cluster of rocks that offered a thin sliver of shade. The boy collapsed there, leaning against the warm stone, his small body trembling with exhaustion. He closed his eyes for just a moment, but the harsh desert winds carried a whisper of danger. Distant coyote howls echoed through the dunes. The German shepherd growled softly, standing guard. The boy pressed his face into the dog's fur, drawing comfort from its warmth. The sun began to dip toward the horizon, and the desert's heat gave way to a creeping cold. He knew the night would bring new challenges, and perhaps even greater dangers. As the sun sank behind the dunes, the desert transformed. The blazing heat gave way to a bone-chilling cold, and the once golden sands turned a deep, haunting shade of blue. The boy shivered uncontrollably, curling closer to his loyal German shepherd. The dog pressed against him, offering warmth and protection, its sharp eyes scanning the darkness. The wind howled, carrying with it the unsettling cries of nocturnal predators. Coyotes and desert foxes prowled nearby, their silhouettes darting across the moonlit sand. The boy's heart pounded in his chest, fear gripping every inch of him. He whispered to his dog, "Don't leave me, please." In response, the German shepherd stood tall, teeth bared at the shadows, a fearless guardian against the unseen dangers. Suddenly, a rustle broke the stillness. From the edge of the dunes, glowing eyes emerged, 2, then 4, then 6. Coyotes. The dog barked ferociously, the sound echoing into the night, sending a warning that this boy was not alone. The predators hesitated, circling but keeping their distance. The boy clung to the dog's fur, tears mixing with the cold desert air. For the first time, He realized that his survival now depended entirely on the courage of his four-legged protector. The night stretched endlessly, each minute crawling like an hour. The boy's teeth chattered as he tried to stay awake, afraid of what might come if he closed his eyes. The German shepherd never wavered, standing guard, its ears twitching at every distant howl or rustling breeze. It was the only wall between the boy and the unforgiving desert. As the cold deepened, the boy spotted a faint light flickering far on the horizon. At first, he thought it was a star, but it blinked like a lantern swaying in the wind. Hope surged through his veins. He tried to stand, but his legs trembled and gave out. The German shepherd nudged him, encouraging him to rise. Together they stumbled toward the light, each step a battle against exhaustion. Halfway there, the light vanished. Panic gripped the boy's chest. He fell to his knees, sobbing, "No, no, please." His voice was lost in the empty desert. The dog licked his face, grounding him in the moment. Then, a distant rumble, an engine. Headlights cut through the darkness, moving toward them. The boy's heart leapt. Maybe, just maybe, someone had seen them. The dog barked frantically, its voice carrying across the sands like a desperate call for salvation. The headlights grew brighter, bouncing over the uneven desert ground, until the vehicle finally came into view, a dusty old pickup truck. The boy's heart pounded as he weakly waved his arms, but it was the German shepherd who truly caught their attention. Barking with every ounce of strength, the loyal dog ran in circles, making sure they couldn't be missed. The truck skidded to a stop a few feet away. A man in his 40s jumped out, flashlight in hand. His face twisted in shock when he saw the frail boy crouched in the sand. "Dear God, kid, are you okay?" he shouted, sprinting toward them. The boy tried to answer, but only a raspy whisper escaped his lips. The dog stood protectively between them, then glanced back as if to signal trust. The man scooped the boy into his arms, feeling the fever radiating from his small body. "You're burning up," he muttered urgently. He opened the truck door and wrapped the boy in a warm blanket. The German shepherd leaped into the cab, never leaving his side. With the engine roaring again, the truck barreled across the desert. For the first time that night, the boy felt the faint warmth of safety return. The truck roared through the desert, each bump jostling the boy against the man's chest. He clutched the blanket tighter, his weak body trembling. Beside him, the German shepherd pressed close, its warm fur like a shield from the cold night air. The boy's eyelids fluttered, but he refused to sleep, afraid this safety might disappear. After what felt like forever, distant lights appeared on the horizon. A small desert clinic came into view, its white walls glowing under harsh fluorescent lamps. The man leapt out, carrying the boy inside as nurses rushed forward. "He's dehydrated and burning up," the man said urgently. They laid the child on a stretcher while the dog paced frantically, whining as doctors worked. Hours passed in a blur. Fluids dripped into the boy's veins, and his breathing steadied. Slowly, his eyes opened to find the German shepherd's head resting on the bed, watching him with unwavering devotion. A small smile curved his lips for the first time in days. The man who rescued him crouched beside the bed. "You're safe now, kid. No one will hurt you again." The boy's hand reached for his dog, and for the first time, he believed those words might be true.